So I'm not sure if you've been in the games aisle at a Walmart or Target as of late, but it really feels like board games have become easier on kids. Like, Operation has easier to remove parts now. Like, you can literally pull out the funny bone with your two fingers like this. And I'm sure Hungry Hungry Hippos has an equal amount of white gumballs, so everybody's a winner. I mean, it even comes with participation trophies for everybody who played. Yeah, that. It was not that fair back in the day with board games. It was like the rules. This is how you play the game. There weren't different variations. But these days, not only do we have Monopoly, we have Monopoly Cheaters Edition. And if you're not familiar, basically how the game works is you hire a private investigator to follow your partner around because you have a feeling something's going on, but you just don't want to believe it. Okay, that's a little too far. But since we're on the topic of board games, sorry. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Now, I've been thinking about this for a while, and, hear me out, because this one's a doozy, I swear. Doozy. Note to self, never using that word again. Does not suit me. But in Spider-Man, Uncle Ben was known for saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And word on the street is he used to say it a lot. I mean, maybe in many different situations. Like, let's say he passes the greeter at Walmart and doesn't let them check his receipt. Like, sir, I need to check your receipt. With great power comes great responsibility. Sir, it's my job. I gotta check the receipt. Great power. So, as some of you may have heard, recently I hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. Yeah, that wasn't my best day. I mean, they were in the middle of the street, and I really shouldn't have had my phone out, so in a way we were both at fault. Where was I going with that? No, of course I'm very happy that this happened. It took quite some time. It took 2 years to finally hit the mark, but just imagine, here we are 7 years later on YouTube, and I'm hopeful that we can hit 300 subscribers 5 years from now. You know I love you guys, right? I mean, I wouldn't do this if... Hey Siri, remind me to pick up milk on the way home. Yeah, if I didn't start properly using hashtags, like, my videos would probably not be pushed out 3 times a week to another 100 followers the way it was to get 1,000. And it also helps that a lot of the people I follow or team follow back. I mean, either they liked my stuff too, or they just follow because I followed. It's kind of a mixed bag there, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? But why am I telling you all this? Like, seriously, I mean, why? It's pretty off-brand if you ask me, but short answer is I'm telling you this because it's my show. Nope, just kidding. If there's an opportunity to find a shortcut, just run with it. I mean, without shortcuts, your favorite social media influencers probably wouldn't even have a career. And while we're on the subject, do they just give that blue check mark to just anybody? I mean, you know how it is when you have to... Rod, we've talked about you interrupting me during segments. At this point, it's just in one ear, out the other. Listen, I couldn't help but overhear you talking about yourself for several minutes back there. I mean, the audience deserves to know what I have going on. A little self-indulgent, don't you think? No? You're getting a bit of an ego, Rodriguez. I have no comment. Right. I'll be in my trailer if you need me. The trunk of my car is not your trailer. Alright, so, where was I before I was rudely interrupted? Swear, you can't rehearse that stuff. But, you go about your everyday life, knowing that there's many ways to do things outside of the whole step-by-step, day-by-day way. I mean, you want a fresh start over, so you find a bunch of hacks and cheats to get stuff done. And if we're being honest with ourselves, it may come out crappy, but you know what? Because you made it yourself, it's going right on the refrigerator so we can look at it every day. But seriously though, cutting corners doesn't work all the time. I mean, that's like mopping without sweeping first. I'm not cut out to be a housekeeper. I mean, take this for example. Do-it-yourself projects can be done with some fast and easy shortcuts and hacks as well. Like, say you don't want sound to enter your room, but you don't want to go through the hassle of putting up those foam tiles all over the place. Simple. You just get one of these things and plug it in, turn it on, and next thing you know, there's a solution for everything. So we've all been here. I mean, I'd love to know I'm not alone on this one, but we want to learn a new skill, so what do? Do we take the lesson, or do we find a series of videos with fast and easy, you can impress your friends tomorrow, or my personal favorite, who do you love more now, Ma? In the title of the video. I mean, next thing you know, you're trying to follow along with these tutorials, and I look like a total doofus right now, don't I? I mean, shortcuts are nice and all, especially for those of us who are busy and those of us with short attention spans. I mean, honestly, we start a task and then out of nowhere, it's procrastination. It's that SpongeBob episode. I mean, our mind is literally on everything else. Story of my life. But in all seriousness though, putting in the practice, the time, the effort, the drive and or power, you have a lot of patience, young grasshopper, to learn this skill properly and learn it the right way. I mean, and another thing is somehow you put aside 10,000 hours to master this skill. Yeah, 10,000 hours, or as I like to call it, Dan and Shay time. Yeah, you used those Justin Bieber minutes responsibly, and for that, we applaud you. Yeah. But, don't get me wrong, I have signed up for classes in the past. Like, I've signed up for master classes. And, they started out strong, but then they asked me to go out there and put in the work. And I just bounced. Like, sayonara, that's all there was to that. But, yeah, that's just a bad example. Bad examples aside, with all the practice, you could be like Charlie Puth, who has perfect pitch. I mean, that guy, he took no shortcuts. And no, I don't think being featured on a Wiz Khalifa song counts as a shortcut. Now, I'll admit, I'm for fast and easy, but if I'm being honest, I am not fond of lazy. Like, the first 2 seasons of this show, for instance, it was very experimental and a little phoned in. Like, take this for instance. Alright, well this week's list is a little different. It's titled 7 Things I Can Use in the Tags If They're Mentioned in the List. Yeah, this is dodging a bullet, don't you think? Well, at number 7, hoverboards. Number 6, Justin Bieber. Number 5, Star Wars. Number 4, iPhone 6s Plus. Number 3, Taylor Swift. Number 2, Cha-Cha Slide. And number 1, 7 tags I can use if they're mentioned in the list. Education Connection. Alright, and that is the possibility list for you this week. Yeah, there are many ways to cheat the algorithm, but that ain't it, Chief. Well, we have a lot of show to fill, so that being said, I'm gonna need a minute. I don't know how this started, but I have conversations with people about the show Friends. And for me, it's great background noise. I mean, it's on every night. But somehow, I talk about Friends with people, and they're like, you know, I'm more of a fan of The Office. My question is, how are those two shows similar in any way? I mean, if we were talking about How I Met Your Mother, I'd be like, I don't know, how did you meet my mother? Oh, you mean the show. Okay, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, maybe it's because both shows were on Netflix, go figure. But honestly, I'd hate to explain binge watching to you guys because, let's face it, you weren't born yesterday. But a lot of people will start a show with season one, and debatably, both shows had rocky first seasons. But I guess The Office, because it's more modern, like it's easier to get into that show. And arguably, Friends is like a different show for the first two seasons. I mean, Friends wasn't really Friends until season 3. And I know that's a bit of a contradiction. Tongue twister. I know that's a bit of a contradiction, but facts. Of course, everybody has their opinion, and of course they're entitled to it. But like, I honestly don't blame some people for turning on Friends, starting from the beginning and being like, I can't get into this. I mean, Jim, Pam, yes. Ross, Rachel, zip. I mean, will they, won't they? I don't care at this point. I can't wait that long. You know, if you stick around, Monica and Chandler get together. I mean, they say that saved the show. Yeah, I'd rather watch Jim and Pam get married. I mean, I can't wait that long for something to happen that saves the show. I mean, I have a life outside of this binge-watching business. Dunder Mifflin greater than Central Perk. Did you hit your head on something, or? It's time for that weekly list known as the possibility list. It's kind of like signing important documents in pencil. Alright, this week's list is titled 6 Rejected Items on the McDonald's Menu. Alright, no hesitating with this list whatsoever. And number 6, Average Mac. Number 5, McCroutons. Number 4, 1/3 pounder. Number 3, Impossible McDouble. Number 2, and this is an actual item that used to exist. We just rejected it as people. Number 2, Fish McBites. And number 1, 6 rejected items on the McDonald's menu. The McSexy Egg McMuffin. Alright, and that is the possibility list for you this week. Well, that is the show for you this week. You know to follow me on social media. Until next time, just like the great late old Uncle Ben used to say, why am I nowhere mentioned in the MCU? Great power. Alright, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.